For as big as our noses are, it's like it's amazing that it still gets clogged up.
My nose is not that big.
Okay, my nose is pretty big.
We do have typical Filipino noses.
Yeah, they're wider than...
Welcome to Chicken Adobo for the Soul. Two siblings talking about life like they know what they're doing. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Terrence.
Do you think one of these days you're going to introduce yourself by your family nickname?
By John John?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
mean, we went through this whole thing of explaining it.
We did actually, and I don't know. It still feels weird because every time I introduce myself to somebody, right, like in public or on the ship or whatever, it's always, "Hi, my name is Terrence," and that's what I'm used to. But then when they say, "Do you have any nicknames?" or when you and I are hanging out and you meet one of my friends, and I have to explain John John, I always come...
It's a 45-minute episode.
Yeah, it goes with a caveat, right? Man, shut up. With John John is for family and significant others only. Right?
Wow, exclusive
It
news.
is. It's a super exclusive nickname, yeah. So
That's fair.
yeah.
I guess I only ask because, I mean, we are kind of exposing ourselves in a way by doing this, so I figured why not?
Yeah, that's fine. I feel weird about it, but no, feel free to like call me John John on the podcast. I don't care.
Good. I'm still in the club.
Yes.
Some days.
Your membership is in question. You know, you're kind of on probation right now. You're still there, but you're on thin ice.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's how we roll.
I think I'm behind on my monthly fees.
Oh yeah, actually. Oh yeah. Oh that PS5 cough.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
that is how I was going to jump into asking you how your week was, but you helped me make my week by helping me out by getting my husband. Okay, I mean, I'm just going to say it because my ego is more important than my husband. But you helped me out by helping me get a PS5 so I could win Wife of the Year until the next one comes out, and then I have to do it all over again.
High five across the table. Whoopsh. Yeah. Sound effects. Yeah, that's where our budget's going. Oh, no.
But, I mean, I had a pretty typical week. Nothing too exciting. What about you? How was your week?
It's going to be so lame because I'm going to talk about the weather. That's literally the only thing I got really going on for me right now.
I mean, how's school?
Eh,
Did you make any new friends?
No.
No?
We're all on Zoom.
Oh, that's right.
Come on. Like the extent of like interaction in class at the end is, "Okay, thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next week." And everybody just raises their hand in a waving pattern, right? Like waves at the camera, or one or two brave souls will be like, "Thank you, have a good night." And then that's it. There's no awkward, those scenes on TV or in movies where, the kids are shuffling around with their backpacks and the main character walks up to the love interest and be like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing tonight?" That kind of interaction. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen on Zoom, man. Like once you click leave or once you click end session, that's it. That's it. You're gone. You're done.
I mean, you could make an effort to reach out to these people.
No, I've got numbers, yeah, but I mean,
okay.
they're more...
Virtually walk up to them in class with your backpack, one strapping it, asking them what they're doing.
No, so weekend. Okay, have you not seen what's that cop movie with 21 Jump Street?
So I only know references, but I've never actually.
You've never
watched them.
seen it?
I know.
What's wrong with you?
I know. I've never gotten around to watching it.
Okay, you need to watch that tonight. Like, go.
Yeah, because I only know the joke where they strap or one strap it.
Yeah, one strapping. One strapping is not cool anymore. It stopped being cool when I don't know. I was doing it in high school.
The generation after us does not think it's cool.
Well, we're like older millennials.
Yeah.
Gen Z probably does not care about it anymore. But the funny thing, we are also that generation that had that one strap backpack, the one that's like...
I had one of those. Yeah. And it was it wasn't like a small backpack that you see like men in Japan carrying.
Yeah.
Like the size of a fanny pack, but it was a full-size backpack. Those things were not helpful at all.
Yeah.
I'm a proud two-strapper.
But they were so cool. Like... You walk in on a Monday morning with that thing on, instantly cool.
Or there was like the technique of you just unbuckle it from the bottom and just let it fall onto the ground like you didn't care about school.
Oh yeah. Oh.
No.
Oh.
No. I was a proud two-strapper. And
No,
not the
you
type
you
where
were a wheeled backpack or wheeled whatever thing kind of person.
not in high school. Not in high school.
Oh my god!
Not in
you did
high
have
school.
one.
Yeah, that's me admitting I had one.
Oh.
No, I was the two strapper, and it was like pulled tight, like I was afraid it was gonna leave my body. But
Yeah.
I hated the people that two strapped it and then let it hang low.
Oh yeah, because that's actually like, well, we didn't care at the time, but that's actually really bad for your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't care at the time.
Yeah, it was just so cool. Yeah, the super low hanging backpack, baggy jeans.
And I remember wanting a JanSport backpack so badly.
Mhm.
So badly because it was just so cool. Everybody had one.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of cool backpacks these days. Like I see on Kickstarter, like anti-theft or
Oh my
or looks
God.
like a shell. I don't know.
I mean, we went through the messenger bag phase.
I used to have so
I
many.
had a lot of messenger
Oh my
bags.
god, yeah. They were cool. I thought
They
were
were
cool.
very cool.
I thought they were very cool, yeah.
You know, you got all your stuff in, you look like you're, jet setting through the city,
Yeah.
like behind on a few articles.
Yeah, but I mean, it
Sadly,
just
you're only in high school,
yeah, we're
and that's just the dream.
we're trying so hard to identify or to establish some identity that's unique and different from what's normal, right? Or we were trying to be so express ourselves so much that yeah, I God, I can't even find the words right now, but
I like the have you seen the TikToks of I haven't seen any guys, but it's girls going through years in high school and their outfits change.
yeah.
And I and I should have kept it out so I could show you, but I have all 4 of my high school IDs.
Oh my god,
And
no.
my hair is awful.
It's just cringe, right? You look
Well-
at it and it's hashtag cringe.
Because I think it's my freshman year where I thought a perm would be a good idea.
Why?
I don't know. I thought it would be a good idea.
Mhm.
And, grandma gave me the perm, but she only had one size curler. So it was like tight curls.
Yeah.
The females listening know what I'm talking about. So she didn't use different sizes. It was just one size curl and it looked awful. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I should have just shaved my head.
Wow. I mean,
That arguably would have been worse.
yeah. I was
And
gonna
then
say.
as you go on, like, I think then my hair just returns normal, but you can see my outfits change.
Something cooler over time.
Yeah, I think it's sophomore year where I have those t-shirts that look like jerseys.
I'm trying to visualize it. And
It's
I can't.
not an actual jersey.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like sports jersey.
Yeah. And it's all just, I think it was probably from like, what is that store called?
Hot
Limited.
Topic.
No.
Oh, Limited
2.
Yeah. Why do I
Yeah.
know that?
Yeah, why do you know that?
That's a good question.
I don't think I ever shopped at Hot Topic.
I don't hang out at Limited 2 on my weekends.
What was the store you shopped at in high school?
Oh man, I Old Navy, Gap, like fast fashion.
Okay.
Like mall fashion,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. And honestly, it's whatever mom bought for me. Because I didn't really care. I didn't really think about it. And now that I look back on it, it's like, damn, I could have tried a little more. I could have tried a little harder.
No, I think for me, it was like, all right, well, this is as good as it's going to get.
And yeah, you've just fallen so far.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because I still think that today.
That
This
was-
is as good
you-
as
so
it's going to get.
you peaked in high school.
Yeah.
Peak fashion in high school, I guess, right?
Oh,
Rip.
man. I think I was always just a jeans and a t-shirt
Yeah, simple, right?
kind of girl.
Mhm.
I do have outfits I regretted that I just could not. Looking back on it, I'm like, why?
Oh,
Why?
but I mean, it made sense at the time, right? And it's hard to assess yourself in a vacuum like that.
It made sense at the time because I think I was trying to jump on the bandwagon, but the bandwagon was moving way too fast and I couldn't keep up, so I'm left in the dirt road.
Yeah, so you're just never going to be able to keep up regardless.
One outfit jumps out. I think it was like the mini skirt phase.
Mhm.
Why? I just could not. Because it always works on you. I mean, you won't get this, but again, the females listening, it usually, I'm about 5 feet tall, and the
Really?
mini skirt, yeah,
Wow.
the mini skirt trend looked really nice on the taller, slender girls, and I'm 5 feet curvy because I like to eat. And yeah, I don't know why I ever did that.
I don't have words, but it's cool.
Yeah. Guys' fashion is very easy. It's pretty much jeans and a
It's
t-shirt.
literally put anything. Well, okay, like no. See, I did have like some sort of a personal fashion revolution in my maybe early/mid 20s, where I started caring a little more, like tossing out a lot of bad pieces that didn't fit. Started reading fashion blogs, started watching YouTube, and starting to pay attention to what I was putting together because how I looked at in public started to matter more. Because public perception, it's kind of like in high school, right? You care about what people think, but in the real world, there are certain implications that you didn't really have to deal with in high school. In high school, everybody expected you to be like a piece of shit, essentially.
It's high
right?
school, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. You're still learning. You have a lot of margin for error. You have a lot of room for error, and no one is looking twice at, oh, okay, wow, that kid's got like spikes on his collar. Why is he wearing a collar in the first place, too, on top of that?
Did you ever do uniforms?
What? I mean, I wear uniforms now.
I mean, in school.
Oh, yeah. In elementary school. Okay. I went to a Catholic school in the Philippines. And
okay.
That shit was wild, man.
My elementary school did uniforms for a while, and then they cut it out. I think that we stopped wearing uniforms.
Because personally, I think it's
third grade.
It's a great equalizer. I think so. Right? It's kids, especially, right, should be encouraged to express themselves. Yes, but that also should be balanced by like some sense of order or discipline, and they need to have that in their life somehow. And uniforms, I think, help balance that. I don't think it suppresses a personality. Like there are plenty of ways for a kid to express themselves and be stupid when they're younger.
Yeah,
and then of course,
but when you're in high school, your only outlet is through your clothes. I think.
It's one way.
And any extracurricular activities that you participate in.
Yeah, it's one way. It's one way.
But when you're wearing a uniform and you decide to wear a bracelet or wear a certain necklace or put a certain keychain on your pants, that's your way. But I don't know. I'm trying to imagine high school in uniforms. I think everybody in my graduating class would be very upset.
Yeah. I don't know. Like when I came to the States and I saw that schools, you didn't have uniforms in schools, my mind was blown. I was like, this is crazy because I had only, 6 years of experience with uniforms every day. And so there was that stress. Like I have to think about what I'm going to put together, what I'm going to wear in the morning.
Oh, God, it must be so hard for a guy.
Yeah. No, it's not. Just whatever's the cleanest thing on top of the pile of laundry.
There you go. And the truth comes out.
Whatever, it'll do. Rude.
So this week we're focusing on a pretty good topic, I think, on regrets.
Ragrets?
Ragrets. No regrets.
No regrets. Oh, man. You guys are getting paid? Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I thought this would be a good topic to discuss. Just kind of a general topic. You get personal if you'd like, or you don't have to. But what's your definition of a regret?
I don't know. I'd like to think that I don't have any significant major regrets because like all the choices that I've taken, all the choices that I've made have brought me to this point in my life. And in the grand scheme of things, I'm kind of okay, right? Generally okay with where I'm at. I don't want to say that I absolutely love everything, right? There are a lot of things that could be improved, a lot of things that can be made better. But again, those are choices I can keep making to get to those dream or ideal places to be. But the choice that I have made in the past, I made those choices for a reason, like signing the department head bonus, choosing to join the Navy in the first place, divorcing, et cetera, right? At the time, they were painful, but I look back on them and I don't regret it, even though there were other choices that may have looked better, And I mean, when we get to it, there are like one or two things that I really, really, really regret doing. But for the most part, all the choices that we make are made for a reason, and they shape who we are. And it's not the healthiest thing for us to regret those choices, I'd say.
No, I agree. I think we're both at a point in our lives where we don't have time to hang on to regrets. I think a regret is just, I don't think that there's an alternative definition for it. I just think it is what it is.
What does Merriam-Webster say?
Oh,
That's a good place to start, actually.
I know. That is a good place to start. Let's see. So the first definition is to mourn the loss or death of. Second definition is to miss very much. To be very sorry for. Oh, I apologize. That's a verb. So a noun, sorrow aroused by circumstances beyond one's control or power to repair.
Aroused.
There you go. An expression of distressing emotion, such as sorrow. Regrets, a note politely declining an invitation. So,
Oh, yeah. I regret to inform you that your application to, Casunas River College has been denied.
Can you imagine if that's how you broke up with somebody? I
Oh
regret
my
to
God.
inform you.
Oh my God.
That's awful. I regret
yeah.
to inform you that this is not working out.
No, do it in a printed letter with letterhead, like super official and clinical and like devoid of any emotion.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I regret to inform you that this relationship.
Why don't you just write it on a Post-it note at that point?
Yeah.
If you're going to break up with me using the words I regret, just shoot me in the face.
Oh.
Or put it on a Post-it note.
I mean.
So I can move on with my life.
Don't let Marcus hear it, but all right.
I know.
I'll pass it on.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. If he decides to end it, tell him just put it on a Post-it note.
Post-it note is good, man. Yeah.
You're good. Don't be dramatic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think regrets are, I think it is exactly what it is. But I think that at least for me, I just don't have time to think about it.
Yeah.
Or to go back and think about it.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Right. There's
hop in my time machine. Go back in time.
Right. Yeah. That spa machine, not spa. That what's it called? That sauna machine. That's on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. The sauna time machine. God, what's that movie called?
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Thank you, man.
God,
wow, that took forever.
Your sense of pop culture sometimes. I mean, I'm not one to judge. I didn't watch 21 Jump Street. I'm sorry.
I'm the one who's seen 21 Jump Street.
We'll talk about that in another time, about how much of pulp culture John John's missed out on.
I've been at sea for a while.
Don't even.
I'm leaning on that argument so much.
You can't. Yeah. You were only gone for like 5 years.
You know how much happens in 5 years? You know what 2020 felt like?
Anyways, so speaking of going back in time, do you remember your first regret?
First regret?
I know.
Wow. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Actually, this is one of those things, right? So when I was in the fifth grade, I started collecting like basketball cards, like sports cards, NBA players, and all those things. Right?
That is really interesting. Go on.
Yeah. So this is like when Jordan was huge, and then he had all sorts of rivalries with like the Jazz or something like that. So Karl Malone, John Stockton, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, those characters. And yeah, I used to use my allowance money for that. But I have an addictive personality. I get addicted to things like rather easily. So my allowance could only get me so many things.
Okay. I don't know where this is going.
I started to steal from my aunt, so there's that.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so, I had a pretty respectably sized collection that I had to eventually liquidate because they found out that I was stealing, and they're like, oh, hey, that's no good, man.
Oh,
Get rid of that shit and give us our money back.
You were only in fifth grade.
I was in the fifth grade, yeah. Then you could say the same thing for Magic cards, too. Those I didn't liquidate. They just took those.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And only in 2018, when I went back to the Philippines, like I was in the fifth grade at like 97, I think. 97 or 98, right? And I went back to the Philippines in 2018 to visit. They were like, oh, hey, yeah, we were cleaning out the attic or some shit, and we found your Magic cards. Do you want them back?
You're kidding.
No. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I got it back. And like a few of those are worth hundreds of dollars now.
Oh, my gosh.
Life is good. Yeah. So, yeah, I felt bad. And yeah. Actually, I have it in my backpack so I can go play Magic with my friends later.
One thing jumped out, and this is more so an embarrassing story, but it's an embarrassing story where I wish, where if I could go back in time, I would just tell myself, dude, don't.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. You know, when you're in I'm going to say middle school, but generally it's portrayed in high school. But when you're in school and it's like the week of Valentine's Day, or if Valentine's Day fell on a day that you were in school, you could like send roses to somebody in another class.
Oh no. Oh, she's covering her face up. This has got to be good.
So this happened in middle school. And I remember distinctly that I was wearing a white miniskirt. So, our middle school at the time, you could send roses to your crush. And just thinking about this makes me wonder how I'm married now, because it's so embarrassing. I sent a rose to my crush, not thinking, because they tell you when it'll get delivered, not thinking that it was going to get delivered in the class where we sat across from each other.
No. Oh, no. Did it have your name on it?
No,
Okay.
but I don't know what was wrong with me, but I made it very clear to a lot of people. And of course, words spread like wildfire that I had a crush on this boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I got married. But I did one of those. So yes, mostly embarrassing. But if I could go back in time, I think that's a teeny tiny regret. And that dude just,
That's your
Rachel,
first one?
don't do it.
That's her first one, right?
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
Because you were emotionally invested, right, into the act, into the person, and things just kind of didn't pan out the way you thought they would.
Yeah, don't invest too much, people.
Wow, rude. But
yeah, so he got
it makes
the
sense
flower,
why you regret it.
and he looked at me.
No, oh no!
he just looked at me, and I just didn't know what to say. And I think
you're turning red.
I know, because I'm still embarrassed. 29 years old, and I'm still embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I think in that moment is when I wish I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, I don't know. Maybe I could have thrown myself down a flight of stairs and say, "Oh my God, I have to go. I can't talk to you." But super embarrassing. But yeah, if I could go back in time, I would tell Rachel, "Hey, you don't have game, man. You need to cool it."
No, but see, wait. No, like we do say though. We say we regret taking these actions, right? But these actions aren't worthless. These things are not valueless. They're not just on the negative balance sheet of our life.
It helped me.
What did we learn from these?
It helped me polish my game up.
Oh, wow. Okay,
I'm
that's
still
a
not
very
confident in
superficial
saying
kind
that.
of lesson to learn, but all right.
I'm still not confident in that.
You stopped having game 10 years ago.
Okay,
10
God.
plus. It's okay. I don't have any either, so. I am so awful.
I just, yeah, I don't know what having game feels like.
No,
anymore.
like my game is I'm going to look at your Facebook profile pictures for like 10 minutes and hope you fall in love with me. That's wow, that's so sad when I say it out loud. No, it's a meme I saw on Facebook, and I just thought it was so sad. And
I'm just thinking about, you could send these people random ass flowers.
I don't even know who they are.
Send a picture of a flower.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And hope they fall in love with you. It'll be a virtual love story.
Oh my God, no! Those things, I don't know. My game or my, yeah, it's not good. Like the best. Okay, so when I was in San Diego, right, I was very bit active on a lot of the dating apps, and to this day, I think my best opener is
I can't wait for what you're gonna say.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one. It's not tacky, it's not cheesy, it's not gross, right? On this girl's profile, she says she's a huge fan of Samoyeds. I think that's how you pronounce it. Those dogs.
Samoyeds?
Sure, whatever. The
what
dog.
was it? No.
Samoyeds?
No. Did you say Samoyeds?
I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I know I shouldn't laugh at you, but
I don't regret that.
You said it so you said it so slowly when like when they break it up.
Samoyeds?
It sounds like a sushi roll.
Oh.
Okay.
I'd eat it. Just kidding.
So she likes So she likes Samoyeds.
She likes those kinds of dogs, yes.
Okay.
And her, she had a decently long profile, and I appreciate people who put in the time and the effort of writing a detailed profile, right?
Okay.
And at the very end of it, she's like, when you message me, please use Samoyed in there somewhere, right?
Okay.
So to prove that that person has read the entire thing.
That's
clever. That's the idea. Exactly. That was the very last line. And so, I didn't know anything about this breed, and I thought she was pretty cool. She sounded really smart, and so I said something along the lines of, "Did you know that if you rearrange the letters in dog breed, you spell out someday, and I would like to take you out for coffee someday."
You guys can't see me right now, but my mouth just hit the floor.
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh my God, that's the best one I've heard." And yeah, what are you doing?
John.
Yeah. Bet.
I'm tipping my hat to you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I still think that's one of my best ones. So I was pretty proud of that.
That's clever.
Yeah, went on 3 dates with her, went to LA, and then found out she was kind of mean. we spent the weekend in LA after. Man. She was cool up to that point.
She was a meanie bobini.
She was actually very mean. Like when you treat like retail or people in
oh, don't get me started because I was there.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's shift the conversation before
I don't like that again.
What a meanie bobini.
I kind of regret spending that weekend in LA, but at the same time, I kind of don't because I learned something.
Don't be meanie bobinis, people,
Yeah.
to those that are handling your food
In service, yeah.
and service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, because
Don't.
yeah, that put a real damper on the weekend.
So is that a regret, or do you take that as a
it's a lesson learned.
lesson learned?
Absolutely a lesson learned. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't think the definition, I will say this. So earlier I said that I don't think regrets have an alternative definition, but I do think that it's seen differently now. In that, I don't, like you said, that's not a regret. It's a lesson learned. It's a memory that's taught me something.
Right.
So that's interesting. I mean, yeah, I know not to. I don't think I ever participated in Valentine's Day stuff through high school.
Oh.
Because I didn't want that. And
that same experience for middle school.
Yeah, I just didn't want that experience. I mean, plus you're in high school. It's almost like a fresh start. No one really knows who you are. Except we all went to school together.
I was going to say, yeah, like, what are you talking about?
I know, except we all went to school together. No, I think after that, I think it was just so much. And you're in middle school, which is, that age where you're going through biological issues and you're going through social issues. So at least for me, I don't necessarily take it as a regret, but I do know now I'm not going to partake in Valentine's Day shenanigans. I will never send a flower to somebody. So, yeah, I think regrets are seen differently now. And I definitely think that there are levels of regret that help us move through life, because there are some that are pretty weighty and some that are just maybe defined as a lesson learned, and that, it's not necessarily a regret.
Yeah, so that's the thing, though. Like, we have been talking about the latter type of regret, quote unquote, right? The lessons, something we learn lessons from, but there are the ones that are weighty, like you say, that we definitely constantly, regularly wish we could have taken the other path. And what does that look like for you? What does that one big or two, whatever, however many of them there are, what's the big one? What's the white elephant? No, not white elephant. What's that term?
The big elephant in the room?
I don't know. What's the thing that's like the one that got away kind of thing? Or yeah, you just really regret something. That's
I wanted to see how far you would go to explain
I don't know. I was gonna go all Moby Dick on it, but I don't even think that's the right term.
What's the Moby Dick in the room?
Yeah. Oh my God. Like the one in my face right now.
Yes.
Oh.
Goodness me. I think I'm at, and this is probably going to be one of those questions where I finally have an answer after we're done recording, because I'm just thinking about it for so long. I don't know if I have a very heavy regret that I can 100% say was a regret. I think I've learned a lot in the short amount of time I've been alive. I think now these days, like I regret going to that coffee shop. I should have just stuck with what I know. Or why did I buy this top? I can't afford it right now. I think that I have a lot of the little regrets that looking back, I can say, okay, well, that was a good choice. Return the top. Or, hey, that was a good choice. But now you know not to go to that coffee shop. I don't think I have a really heavy regret. Goodness. I think there's probably a few things I could have done differently in high school. I don't know. What about you?
I've got 2.
2?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty heavy.
I think that's pretty good, I would say. I think there's
all things considered. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, no,
I'm sure I'm going to make more.
There's still time.
There's time for these problems to reproduce and multiply, and have a great time wrecking my life.
Yeah, I mean, but compared to a lot of people, 2 is pretty good.
Yeah, they both involve women. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, I guess I should tell you.
I don't know. Did you want to share?
No, yeah, I don't mind.
This isn't a class presentation or anything.
It's cool. That's the point. That's why we're doing the podcast, man.
All right, share with the class.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Did you call your teachers ma'am?
No, I didn't. That's
if you
so
were my
weird.
student and you called me ma'am, well, I'd feel pretty good.
Maybe when you're like old and rickety and have a cane, I'd call you ma'am.
We're getting there.
No, so the first one is I
don't name names. Give her a nickname.
I'm a little uncomfortable even calling it a regret because I did learn a lot from it, right? But also I went through so much pain and awkwardness after making the decision, deciding to get married in the first place, right? I was definitely not ready to get married. I was definitely getting married for all the wrong reasons, right? A lot of the senior enlisted, my supervisors, my mentors were all advising against it, right? Because they've seen life. They've seen this happen a billion times. And I, when I got promoted to be an officer, I got to see the same exact picture they did, like a lot of young sailors getting married way too young and then becoming statistics later on down the road, right? And I myself became that statistic as well. Like I got divorced in less than 2 years. Sad, big sad. And so getting married, I got married because I thought that it was time. I thought that at 27, I think it was either 27 or 28, we had been dating for 4 years. And all the social pressures are pointing towards get married now. You're getting older. You're not getting any younger. It's time. It's the responsible thing to do if you've dated that long. Her biological clock is ticking too, and so on and so forth, right? And so I didn't end up marrying this person because I was absolutely 100% sure that that was the right move, but because external pressure, and I just figured I might as well. That was the justification in my mind. I might as well. Not because I 100% absolutely love her. And I did love her at the time. Right. And, I got married for the wrong reasons. So that's number 1.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I was with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, those are some really good ones. Yeah.
I got done having that asthma attack. And remember, because your cats gave me an asthma attack.
Goodness. Oh, and no, that trip. That's right.
I remember what you said to me because I'm sitting in the lobby and you had said, well, now that you can breathe, I should probably tell you what I've been thinking.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I was with John through that whole experience, and I made sure that he was there. I see where you're coming from. I think, and I only say this because I think it's hard for me to embrace regrets in that because I have either they're just so little or they're just not big enough for me to hold on to. But I don't see that as a regret for you necessarily. I think that it's a lesson learned because it's, as you said, you got married because you felt the external pressure. Mm-hmm. And while you were talking, I wanted to look up the definition again of regret, and it says sorrow aroused by circumstances beyond one's control or power to repair. And I feel like I would still classify that as a lesson learned because I think over the years you've learned not to allow the world to pressure you in a similar manner to what it was like. How long has it been? What, like 3 years?
So the divorce?
Yeah.
5.
Wow.
Yeah. May or March. I think it was March. March 2016 was when it got finally through the courts.
Wow. So, wow, I just hadn't realized it'd been that long. But yeah, I think that it's, at least me telling you, I don't think it's as a regret as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over time it will shrink down and then eventually turn into a lesson learned. Because like I said, I think that
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, I think that if you're saying it's a regret because you were pressured by the world and that the general timeline of get married, get a house, white picket fence, 2.5 kids, now you're not as pressured. And I see that firsthand. So, but that's interesting. That's really interesting. I didn't think that you really necessarily classified it as a regret.
Absolutely. Well, I don't regret the divorce. The divorce was the right call. Mm-hmm. I regret looping her into that disaster in the first place, asking her to get married. Because I took years. I derailed her life plans, right? And yeah, I brought her along on that portion of my life when she absolutely didn't have to, kind of didn't really mean to. She had really much bigger plans than just going to school and getting out of the Navy, really. Because we had, there you go, context. We had met in the Navy. We were on the same ship, all those things. And so, yeah, I took a lot of things away from her and didn't give her back anywhere near as much as she could have had had she built her own life up. And that's why I feel super bad about it. Because there was that. And then, I was adrift for like a couple years. I was, quote unquote, having a good time living the single life. But at the same time, it was kind of aimless and kind of, I don't know. It's, in retrospect, it didn't feel nearly as good as it did or should have. Kind of dancing around it a lot because I don't want to give the particular details of all the bad stuff there. But yeah, it was tough.
How do you feel now? It's been 5 years.
Yeah. Decent. I'm comfortable with being alone, with being single, and probably forever alone. That's where I'm at. And ultimately, I kind of don't mind it, even though coming home alone to an empty condo is a little sad, right? And there's this expectation of a shared life being worth more than a solitary life, especially in American culture, right? It's something I'm learning to adapt to. And we've had this conversation in the past, right? I've had those episodes where I dip down really, really low and I'm desperate for some kind of contact, no matter what kind of contact it is. And those episodes are thankfully kind of becoming less and less frequent.
Good.
Yeah. And so
maybe more weekends watching reruns of Friends.
How about watch something new, Rachel?
Oh, you're going to turn down Friends?
No.
That's what
Friends
I thought.
is awesome, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So what's the second regret?
Okay, so this is part of that dark time, right? As I started gaining distance from the divorce, I got into a long distance relationship with an old childhood friend, and she was living in Australia, and I was stationed in Japan, and we had sustained the relationship by letters, actual physical letters, and
we're such old souls.
I know. Oh, that's old. I associate the term "old soul" to her so much, and I miss that. When the ship was on deployment in 2016, it pulled into Australia, and instead of me staying in Sydney, where the ship was tied up at, I took leave and hopped on a plane to go see her, where I'm not going to give her the city that she was in, but it was far enough that I needed to fly, right? And yeah, in the nearly 2 years that we were together, we had only really seen each other for about 10 days, like physically in the same space together for 10 days. And to this day, that's still like the most, I think that's still the best relationship I've had. And I really wish I didn't throw that all away.
Why do you feel like you threw it away?
I broke up with her because I ended up getting involved or getting attached to another officer on the ship. And that was a that was a bad idea. That was a really, really bad idea. Being forward deployed in Japan gets to be very lonely, especially if you're a single guy at my age, right? Where I don't necessarily want to go party out all the time. I'd like to maybe slow down a little bit and find some sort of stability. And this person, it felt like that's what she was offering. She was there in person. There was a physical presence there. There was what I felt like was an emotional connection, right? And so seeing all these positives or mirages of a positive, I jumped ship. And when I did confront this person, when we had that talk, it was all a sham. None of it was real. And so I had ended up breaking up with a girl in Australia for nothing. And that is a regret I still have to this day. I shouldn't have done that.
There's still time.
3 years, 2 years? I
don't know. I mean,
it's a few years now.
I'm way too much of an optimist, so I always think you make a choice for a reason. Yeah. And I think maybe that's why I don't have plenty of regrets, is because you're making choices for a reason. And no one else should be justifying that reason except for you. It's your choice.
Yeah.
It's your decision. And we should not just carry that weight of regret this whole time. We shouldn't. It's just, there's too many beautiful things in the world, and, make your choice and you stick with it. And if that's the reason why you did it, then that's the reason why you did it. It's your reason. It's your life.
It's just a shitty reason.
It is. But you know what? You made the decision at the time. So I think that's why maybe I don't have a lot of regrets, but that's something that you should keep in mind, because so much time has passed already, and you shouldn't go back and think, wow, why did I do that? Or work on and say, yeah, I did that. Wonder how she's doing now.
She's doing great. I don't know. I'd like to think she's doing great. Maybe she's found a local guy. That'd be good.
Well, and I think that there is a lot of pressure there because it's long distance. Well, especially now.
We made it work for nearly 2 years, year and a half, whichever. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that I don't think regrets exist in the sense that in the first impressions that they give, because I think all people make choices as they do. I chose this coffee because convenience. Starbucks is 3 miles away. This one is across the street.
Wow, it's not across the street. Wawa was 5 miles, Rachel. And no, but see, the thing is, like, what is your emotional connection to your cup of Starbucks, though? Like, how deeply invested are you in that?
I think for me, I've grown to be the type of person that just now I know what I like and what I don't like. I know what's good in my life and what I don't need in my life. That's why I take so long making decisions. And I think maybe it's because I don't want to feel the weight of regret. And I have so few, if not any. But I've known what it does feel like, no matter how big or small, but I just don't like that feeling. And I think that I'm at the point in my life where, hell, I'm going to be 30 this year. I don't have time to dwell on decisions. I just want to keep what's good in my life and expel what's bad in my life, or avoid those things. That's why my circle of friends is so small. That's why that's why
you have a circle?
I have a circle.
I have a dot.
Is it just you?
Yeah. Just kidding.
But yeah, I think just as it is, I don't have time for that. And that's not to say that I won't try new things. But Marcus gets me when we try a new restaurant, he'll get me to order something outside of what I normally eat.
Outside of the comfort zone, yeah.
Yeah. And then I end up not liking it. And then I'm like, great, I'm still hungry. But I took so long, I take so long making a decision. And now I'm glad that everything I've encountered has gotten me to the point where I can make a decision and know what's good in my life and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't have time to waste.
That's fair. That's fair.
I hate when people say YOLO, but that's the truth.
Oh, I'm keen. I'm on
You
that
do.
end of the
You
spectrum.
say it all the time.
I'm on that end of the spectrum.
You
and-
say YOLO all the time.
No, I don't. Okay, I say it before I do something really dumb.
You say YOLO when you're about to make a right turn
Yeah, because like I
into
probably,
oncoming traffic.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't scan the road as well as I should.
Don't say YOLO. Scan the road.
But you do only live once, though.
Yeah. I think that there are moments in my life where, as I was alluding to, I think that there are different levels of regret. I think that now there are memories I could go back. I wish I could go
Oh.
back and do differently.
Wait, that's a regret. That's
I know.
That's a textbook definition.
I know, but I don't
Stop
like
dancing around it. It's a regret.
Okay, I think a regret I have is I wish I didn't have a 2-year relationship in high school.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That means you're basically married in high school.
no, it's. Oh, yeah, okay, actually, it
Who
is. Yeah.
has 2-year relationships in high school? Who?
I can name a few in my high school.
Very, very few people.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. My high school relationship was 1 month and 3 weeks, and the other one was barely over a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think that there are things that I wish. I'll say this, and I don't know, and you tell me if you think it's a regret or not, because clearly I like to dance around the bush.
Yeah. Beat.
Dance around the bush.
Okay.
I think that there are things that people got to experience that I didn't, and I wish I had.
Ah.
One big thing,
Yeah.
and this is not. I'll just say this. I love my husband very much. I actually spit game.
Oh my god.
If he's
Oh my
listening right now, he's laughing.
God. I bet he is. Yeah.
My game was good.
No.
I think when you say your game is good,
No,
it's not good.
No, this is gonna like tread into a little bit of a spicy territory, right? But like, women don't really need to do that much. Like,
wait,
guys
save this for the 4-part series.
I'm just saying, look at a preview for that. Like, guys are so starved for attention, or guys are so starved for no. And I'm serious for like emotional validation that any like sign of kindness or like remote degree of interest is interpreted as something entirely different. Could be interpreted as entirely different, right? You know, like boys are, well, at least my generation, right? Or men are raised to be. Sure, whatever.
Boys
are raised to be tough. Like, oh yeah, you gotta hide your feelings. You know, you can't express your feelings. Stuff like that, and that creates that vacuum, that gap, that void of where any kind of positivity can be misconstrued as romantic. And so
that
you
was the
didn't
nice
have to do
way.
much.
That, you know what? I was starting to feel really good about the game I was spitting, and you just like crapped all over it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyways,
I regret that.
oh, shut up. The one thing that my friends got to experience is, and I'll clarify this. So I met Marcus right when I was 18. I didn't have the going out, going to bars, happy hour. You know, not that I want to pick up anybody at the bar, but you know what I mean? Like I didn't have opportunity to flirt and explore, and you know, I'm not saying I wanted to go. Yeah, I didn't want to. I'm not saying I'm opening up shop like all the time or anything like that, but I didn't get to do that. So I lived vicariously through my single friends. I'm the creeper old lady who's been in a relationship for God knows how long, and I'm like, yeah, tell me more. You know?
It sounds so juicy. Spill the tea.
I know. Oh my God. So I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to go out and do that. I think another thing is, and I don't know if this was something I could have controlled, but I didn't teach. I didn't explore truly in depth what it's like to have your own classroom and, you know, do all of that. I kind of went with a more practical and realistic approach. I don't want to say realistic. I guess a more practical approach, because when I was graduating college and I did not get my teaching license at the time, the hotel had offered me a position that
you couldn't deny.
That I couldn't deny, because it allowed me to give my personal life the attention that it needed. Because as soon as I graduated, I moved in with Marcus, and hello, here we are.
The real world started calling.
Yeah. But I didn't get to do that. So when I do hear my teacher friends talk, I'm thinking, wow, well, great story. I wish I could experience that, in like a weird way.
Yeah.
They could be telling me that a kid punched them in the face. And I'm like, I want to be punched in the face by my students.
Oh, no.
But I think, those are regrets. But I also love the choices that I made.
Yes. Yes, that's really important.
Yeah. And I think now I'm just super careful, because I don't like that feeling of what was the other choice like. And I've actually learned how to approach a decision. For example, when I was picking wedding dresses, look, most people spend like years looking for a dress. That's exaggerating, but they spend a lot of time. And I knew that. So I said, okay, I'm just going to go to one place, and just, if it's not there, it's not there.
Oh, okay.
But I think I limited myself. Yeah. So now I've taken practical steps, because in my head, if I take a practical approach to making a decision, I'm making the right decision that makes me feel like I made the right choice.
Yeah.
And I'm not left wondering what the other choice was like.
That's fair.
So yeah, I in a way it's dancing around the bush of regret.
No, I think the way, especially when you bring up the wedding dress analogy, I think that's really poignant, actually, because have you read or listened to Modern Romance, Aziz Ansari?
No,
right?
No, and that's on my list.
Get it on Audible. Cough, cough.
I know.
Right? Christmas present.
I know.
Oh, when you're on the road, great listen.
I know.
Anyway, the thing is, in one of the chapters, he talks about the paralysis of choice, right? Where if you are asked to choose between 3 different ice cream flavors, right, the decision is not going to be very hard. But when you're asked to choose between 31 flavors, hey, Baskin Robbins, you're suddenly paralyzed, like, oh man, what choice do I make that will guarantee me or maximize my happiness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because if one of the 31, you choose one of them, or you choose, let's say, chocolate, but then you see that, oh, lemon over there would probably have been better, and you've already finished the cup, and then like, man, wow, I regret that. As the number of choices increase, the tendency to regret that choice also increases. And because of that natural thing happening in your mind, you just can't make a decision, or you have a very hard time making up your mind. And by you limiting yourself to one dress place, whatever those are called, wedding dress.
The store.
Thank you. Yeah. By limiting yourself to that, then you kind of eliminate the paralysis of choice. You are like very honed in, and that minimizes that sense of regret. And that's actually pretty powerful. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say that's a bad move. That's a great move.
It's easier. I mean, I think, and I can't even pinpoint when I started doing that. I've just been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Just minimizing the options.
Minimizing choices, yeah.
Minimizing the options to maximize the right choice.
Exactly, because you maximize the amount of satisfaction that you have with that choice.
Yeah.
And if you know that there's nothing else, then this is it. This is the one, and I'm totally content, super happy with this.
One thing that's really helped me, and I don't know, you've heard me say this a lot, and I think it's my mission to share my I guess what I live by with others. But one thing that I've learned is I keep my expectations really low. And I do have to correct you, because the few times that I've talked to you about this, you've corrected me, and you've said that I manage my expectations. I keep them low. I have very, very low expectations with a lot of things. Manage, I think, is a different approach to take, because managing is like, okay, well, I'm gonna try a new coffee place, and my expectations are at a 3. I'm buying a house from from a developer or whatever, my expectations are at a 10.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm probably at a solid 2 all the time.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Yeah.
With absolutely everything. Because what I live by is stay at a 2. Keep it real low, because you don't have too far to fall if you're disappointed.
That's fair, I guess.
And I think that's something that I've embraced, and that's another approach I take in trying to avoid regret, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Stay at a 2.
And I think that's a really nice way to draw the distinction between us, because you have that where you are very comfortable with that 2 across the board, right? Whereas I manage, quote unquote, my expectations, where I'm happy to assume that something is a 7, 8, or 9, or even a perfect 10, walking into something based on, like, I don't know, reviews or word of mouth advertising or promotions. And then, of course, sure enough, my experience is definitely not aligning with those things, and I'm just setting myself up for mad disappointment. But if the expectations constantly stay low, then it would be very difficult to start appreciating some finer things, right? Because if the expectation is always low, and then the place that you hit was like a 3 maybe, then you're like, oh yeah, then this was better than expected, and then, oh, this is good enough, right? And then you would unfortunately miss out on the 7s and the 9s and the 10s that are out there.
Well, no, because you're still going to go out and you're still going to try something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say this, that ramen place we tried 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? Ramen.
Oh, yeah, Jinya.
Umai.
Okay.
I had Jinya at my number 1 ramen place until we tried Umai. Expectations are real low, and I'm thinking, I'm sorry, Jinya, I got to move you out of the first place spot. I got to put Umai in.
Where did?
Literally 4 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, we were in Herndon.
Oh, this was after the pastry
place.
joint. Yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah,
you remember?
It was snowing.
I was there. You were there.
Wow. Yeah, and
we were both there.
The people across the glass screen from us were there.
Yeah, they were there.
Looking at me awkwardly because I talk so loud.
You did. But
okay, I remember.
So to your argument, yeah, I keep everything. I keep myself at a solid 2 until I try something else. And then I've learned to say, oh, so I see your approach in that this particular ramen place, I'm saying, okay, this is a great place. I feel pretty good about it. I know what I like. I frequent there often, until I try something new, and then I can say, oh, now I know that this is better, or now I know that this is worse. But that place had really good pork. There's no way it's worse. But yeah, to that comment, I'd say I think my method is still applicable, and it's just a matter of how you want to grasp that. I mean, it's specifically low expectations. And that sounds awful. It sounds awful. I don't, and I don't want my friends or, people to come up to me and say, have this first instinct and say, she has low expectations about me right now. I don't want, somebody to make me something, make me a cake and say, I'm afraid to give this to her because she has low expectations. That's not what I mean. It's just, it's a healthier approach to certain things. Cake is cake. I'm going to eat it regardless. But yeah, I hope I just didn't present myself in such a way that I become unapproachable. Because I'm still a kind person, but if I'm trying a ramen place, I'm keeping my expectations at a 2.
I find it kind of strange that your reaction to the low expectation thing in a public setting is, I hope people don't think I'm unapproachable, because that's the kind of reaction I'd associate with someone who would admit that they have high expectations. And like, I don't want to give my cake to them. What if they don't like it because they've had something much, much better? Or
I know there's no winning.
There's no winning. Yeah.
There's no winning. But yeah, I mean, definitely you can still approach me. I will talk to you. I will say hi. But I mean, yeah, I think I apply it I think when we were going through the home buying process, my expectations were really low because I didn't, it also helped me manage stress and going through getting married, low expectations. Yeah. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I think we got an awful lot of it covered pretty well, and it is nice to see that there are like just you and I's approach to looking at regret and understanding regret represent two very different ends of the spectrum, right? And I think that's a pretty healthy place to be, either which way, as long as you know how to deal with the way you had approached your decisions in life. As long as you're not constantly beating yourself up, whether it is you're keeping your expectations low or you're managing your expectations such that when you look in the rearview mirror, you understand what you're seeing there very clearly. That's pretty powerful.
So, I mean, regrets weigh very differently. Some are heavier than others, and some are so light they disappear into thin air. And maybe you work hard to let them go, or maybe you're keeping them for nostalgic reasons, which I think is, I mean, I'm a very nostalgic person, so I think that that's nice as well. I mean, with that being said, I'm going to take a cliche approach and say life is too short for you to hang on to regrets and you know, just kind of dwell on them. Life is too short for that, no matter the weight. So thanks for listening to Chicken Adobo for the Soul, and we will catch you next time.
Wait, can you hear this?
Shut up.
Is this on the other?
Are we doing an ASMR?
I don't know.
I promise you'll cut that out.
No, I'm keeping the ASMR bit in there. I'll put that at the end where the bloopers go. Oh my god, yes. Okay, anyway, sorry. Oh my god. Okay, composure.
Confidence.
Confidence. Yeah, no,